Welcome back to God Chosen Cosmic Melodies. So, we're going to jump right in and talk about this channel message that got put in my heart. So, I was thinking about our connection with God and ourselves. And to have a connection with God is to have a connection with yourself. And to have a connection with the quantum field is to have a connection with yourself too, because we are all one with God, source energy, the quantum field, all that is energetically, right? However you want to call it, spirit, or whatever terminology, whatever word comes to mind when you think about something greater than us. So we come from that something that is greater than us, and we are one with it at all times. And so we have easy communication with God and spirit. But like, this is the thing, people in life, some are atheists, some people don't believe in God, but we're all still connected to this greater thing, something greater than humans and all of the species on this planet. And so with us being from that and being one with that, with spirit, with the quantum field, quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, quantum everything, quantum physics, right? So that subject, that field is like people trying to communicate with invisible intelligence and trying to figure that invisible intelligence out more, figure it out. Like, what is it? You know, like humans want to know to detail. That's why science exists, right? Science like looks into things and does experiments, and quantum physics, quantum mechanics communicates and does experiments like the double slit experiment is one amongst many others that they do to try to communicate with this invisible intelligence and figure out more about it, right? So God put in my heart how, you know, with this natural, like innate thing in us that we want to seek out God, source, the Holy Spirit, something greater than us. It's like wired into us. It's like born into us, you know, like on a DNA level, on a molecule level, on an atomic level, on like the smallest level you could possibly think of. Like, it's so intentional on God's part, on source, on the source of creation's part. And so no matter what religious belief, well, I just like did the biggest swallow ever. So no matter what religious belief or whether you believe in God or not, you are one with God. We are one with God. We are one with everything at all times. Whether people are in different stages of amnesia or going against, you know, something greater than humans, going against the Most High, going against source energy, going against the universal laws, going against life, going against themselves. You know, like humans, we tend to do that. Like in this form, we tend to accidentally go against ourselves because we perceive it as something else, or we just don't perceive into it at all. Like some people don't perceive into the God frequency, so they think they're separate from God and the God frequency when they're always one. And when they wake up from that amnesia, out of that lower level of consciousness, amnesia state, disconnected state that all of us experience at one point or another. And so yeah, that's the point of the reawakening, is like remembering that you are never not disconnected. You've always been one with where you come from, but bringing awareness to it and living with intentionality to it, connect with your connection to God's source energy that's meant to flow through all your energy centers and bring new life to you. Like the second what's it called, it's like born again Christian. That's like a metaphor, because you have new life. You're like brand new, see things differently from a new life, literally a new life. You perceive into another frequency. So your old life, you're slowly transitioning out of that frequency throughout time. The more that we become more intentional with connecting to God, even throughout all our flaws and our mistakes, because none of us will ever be perfect, but it's about getting more intentional with ourselves and God. And when we get intentional with God, which is ourselves, which is God, which is all one. Remember, we are not God alone without source, but we're meant to embody God frequency, but there's always a higher power that is higher than humans, which is God. It's invisible intelligence. However you want, whatever word a person wants to put on it. The point is, like, God put in my heart, like, how it's so organic for the human race to seek God in whichever way that is. There's a lot of ways people seek God, even through quantum physics, or, whichever way works for you. Just be intentional with connecting to something that's supernatural healing and supernatural guidance. That's what God is. And so another thing that came to mind that I channeled is like this poster of Pink Floyd. The psychology behind that album, it's from a dark place, but they put a melancholy, like, up happy beat to really sad lyrics and a sad psychological view of a human experience that you can experience. And that was way ahead of its time, that's for sure. If they created that, like, I don't think I was even born. And like, they were way ahead of their time. But the secret societies that control the world, with the occult information that they misuse over the masses, they know it, and people who create music and in the industry know that kind of information and use it in a manipulative way in their music. And so this album is a great example of that, whether they did it on purpose, realized it or not. This album, it's like not even my favorite, like, they're not even my favorite band or whatever. I just love the symbolism, the spiritual symbolism. I don't really represent Pink Floyd whatsoever at all. Zero. Because I understand the manipulative tactics that they used in that album. They opened people up with a happy frequency, and then they put in dark psychological things into them, and it made people more susceptible to that frequency being their reality, because of the words and the melodies implanted into them as a humanity, because it was an album that has lasted for like so freaking long throughout the years. And so God is calling us to wake up to how they manipulated us through music and psychologically, through all forms of entertainment, and remember our power from the undivided light that we are, from the white undivided light, and how we project our reality. We create our reality from the inside out. And so what we constantly put in our minds is what is being created from the inside out. So we need to feed the Holy Spirit in us, in our connection to God's love and source energy, as much as possible. Every single day of our lives, breathe with intentionality, because God is in the breath, and the breath is very spiritual and sacred. And so also all of our energy centers, and connect to the divine masculine and feminine inside of you. The divine feminine and masculine is like a bee that's like propagating, or no, I'm sorry, a bee that's pollinating. Those two healthy energies within the holy frequency, because God is unisex. God is not all male or all female. God is unisex. And even Mother Gaia is unisex. When you hear Mother Gaia, you think only female, but the way that propagating happens, or rebirthing, and the whole cycle happens is with both energies. And so God put that in my heart. God is unisex. And so in that wholesomeness of the unisex balance within inside of us, coming from that holy light, that eternal holy light in us, that undivided eternal holy light in us, we tune into that white part of ourselves. I'm pointing right here because if you could see, like, this part right here, it leads to like the white, and then the white is coming out into the color. So in my mind, I see the white and I think of like Holy Spirit, the holy light in you, the holy connection with the Holy Spirit. Remember to use your sovereignty, your spiritual sovereignty, and practice your spiritual mastery as much as possible. And remembering that we are the creators, we are the co-creators with our creator, here to create a better reality no matter what circumstance whatsoever. if we made mistakes, we need to correct them and get right with God's source energy and the laws of the universe. And the better off we will all be in our own individual lives and amongst each other, because we're all getting with this new frequency sooner than later. And another thing that God put in my heart is the difference in resonance. Is that this is the reason why, if you ever heard somebody say, and I think I mentioned a little bit in my previous video, how it's not happening like that anymore in this golden era. Like, people are not going to be able to sweep things under the rug or get away with things that they used to, because and it seemed like maybe a threat, or like it's like, but it's not at all. Or maybe it seemed like to intimidate somebody, but it's not. It's literally just the truth. It's a resonance thing. That's what God put in my heart, is like people's karmas are coming faster back onto them, because the change in resonance, it's not allowing those things to like just fly by anymore like before. Because I thought, what's the difference actually? Like, why is it that people are not going to be able to get away with those things? It is because these people are standing up for what's right and not being scared of the dark principalities, because we know we have our higher power with us that has the say so and everything. And so it's the improvement of people not letting those things, like, continue on, like stopping the corruption, confronting those things from the inside out. But it is also, people are getting the courage to do that because of the resonance shift that has been happening. And that's what came to me in my heart. And like, so yeah, full circle, tune into the unisex opposites within you. Remember that you are a portal to the heavens above, and to tune into your connection to God's source energy as many times as possible within your breath and within your day, and remind others to do it too. And remember to be mindful of what you're programming in your psychological state, and don't listen to albums like Pink Floyd. I only like this symbolism because it represents how we project our reality from the inside out. But like I said earlier in the video, I do not represent this dark psychology of the human experience. I know it's a reality. I know it's something that's meant for us to overcome and wake up out of victimization loop and wake up to the accountability loop, so that you wake up out of the dark psychological experience of the human experience, because it does not have to be that way. And we are here to create the best reality ever from the inside out. And it's up to us. And it starts from the inside out through these thoughts that we cannot see. Your psychological state is really important to the rest of your experience. Your nervous system, the balance in your nervous system, the balance in your psychological state, the balance between your polar energies, the balance in your whole energy system, it really counts. It really matters. It really makes a difference to the quality of life that we get to experience from the inside out, but also the quality of life that we get to help each other experience while we're here. Because we don't have forever, people. It's limited that we get the blessed chance to be here, and we need to remember to constantly course correct our thoughts and our feelings so that we can cultivate that better reality from the inside out. Do the healing you have to do, and if you feel like you're healed already, just constantly course correct your inner world, and then course correct your actions in the outer world. And the more often we do that for ourselves, the better off we will be. That's what God put in my heart. So I will leave this one here. I feel like that one went like full circle. I just flowed with it. I spilled my heart out on camera. I channeled that straight from the source. Remember, God is trying to talk to you and speak to you in your heart. So please have a listening heart. Remember to listen to God in your heart, because God is trying to touch your heart and uplift you, protect you, guide you, and strengthen you at all times. So open your heart up. No matter what hurt that you have experienced in your life so far, remember that we have a higher power here for us, and we are never alone. And if you feel that you are alone and you're going through a hard time, get right with God in your heart. And truly that will help you more than any human or anything in this human realm could ever help you. God is above all else. So you may as well get right with God. You may as well go straight to God to solve all your problems, because that is the solution for everybody's individual lives and for the whole world. Events. If we can all remember our connection to our higher power and the importance of opening our hearts and being that bridge so that the higher power, God's source energy, the universe can flow through us and work through us and do magnificent things through us, uplift us from the inside out. If we're having a sad thought or feeling, bad thought or feeling, go to God. Don't even waste your time on those thoughts or feelings. Don't, because it is truly a waste of time. Just go straight to God every single time and watch how your life improves, like very fast, like so freaking fast, every single day, every single second of your life. I said in my previous video how every day is the best day of your life, and I thought later after the video, well, that's kind of unrealistic because every day can't be the best day of your life because polarity in life. But in reality, it's true. Even if you're having like a bad day, I guess what I meant by that is that you, like I said in the video too, is that you can shift anything bad into good. When you connect to God, that's the most important thing. Because remember, we are one with God at all times. When you are in good with God, you're in good with yourself. When you're in good with yourself, that means you're being good with God. Hopefully, like that's the point, at least in my mind. Anyways, you guys get the point, hopefully. If not, go watch my other videos and stay tuned for my next videos. If you haven't subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe, will you? Because it will enrich and enlighten your soul, and everybody needs soul food these days. So spread the word, tell your loved ones about the channel, tell everybody about the soul message, uplift yourself from the inside out with God, and click like because it helps the algorithm. It really, really, really does matter, and it really does count because we want to get this message to many more people, and you can help me do that. So I give you thanks in advance from my soul to yours, because we want to reach the masses with these messages. And so also ring the bell for upcoming videos, and I will talk to you all in my next video.